Friends. This is your host Sunny Bhatia. So today we are in day 13. So let us continue our session. We were talking about voucher collection and seeing what is the how the voucher object is defined. So let me revise. So this was the session we did last time. In adding to it, a few minutes I'll dedicate to the viewers who have been asking me questions. One of the viewers asked me that uh, we I am not giving the session in detail. That means, as a practitioner, I'm not telling the viewers to practice the sessions and how to practice the sessions. And to clarify it, it is these videos are presuming that you have a knowledge of Tally and at least one programming language. If you have a knowledge of programming language, that's an added advantage. Otherwise, you need more practice on TDL since you have to clear your concept of the programming also through TDL. So if you have a knowledge of TDL, then it will be better. Other a programming language, sorry, it is better. It will be added advantage for you. In case you don't have it, you will have to practice harder on the things. Second, the basic. I'm presuming that the basic computer knowledge is there with the viewer. Since I'm presuming that the Tally knowledge is there, so automatically a basic computer knowledge how to save the file, create the file, those things are there. So let us go ahead with this. That day we had spas. This is the voucher. These are the ledger entries, and these are the sorry. These are the inventory entries, and these are the ledger entries. This is how the voucher is presented. So let us move ahead and see. Move to day 14. So let me open the sessions. So let me save it as day 14. I think I've set it day 13 initially, so it is day 14. Let us make it as, and let me put it in Tally also as day 14 so that so two things we do, we are putting it as day 14, and now we have seen that by explode we can find out what are the ledger entries, inventory entries for the voucher collection, rather voucher object, since we are dealing with the one voucher at this point of time. So these are the inventory entries and the ledger entries. Now let us introduce a concept. Now I want to put a group name, that the name of the group for these three items. So let us see how we can do that. So first I introduce a field called group. So let me do that in inventory entry line, and here I say my stock group name. So I have a field called stock group name. So since it is a string, I use it as. Now let us see what is the context here. I am in the context of inventory entries and I have a stock item name with me. So there are two ways in which I can get the parent. The method that is used for the group is parent. So let us see how we can get it. There are two methods. One is I write it like parent of stock item, and of stock item name. Now let us see how this is understood. This means that from the stock item collection, I want to get a method parent, and then for which object? For this object. Since the name of the stock item will be unique, we'll only have one record for this. So let us see how this comes up now. So I have the name of the parent also. So let me try to explain how I am getting it, because it is a bit ticklish for a new those persons who are not familiar with other programming languages. This means that I want to get the first parameter that I write here is what is the method which I want to display. So I want to display parent, and I want to display it from the collection stock item. And for which stock item do I want to display? For stock item. I suppose I am clear now that for this stock item you want to display the method parent from the collection stock item. So this is how it is interpreted. That is a very powerful syntax I find in Tally. And there is another method, that is object context method. That is, I say dollar, and from which collection? From stock item. For this stock item name, I want to get the method parent. So this will also give me the same result. This will also give me, I am just commenting it for if you want to download the code, the other code is also available. So there are two methods. One is I write dollar, that means I want a method. I start my bracket and put from which collection do I want the method. So I want it from stock item. For which object? So for this stock item name, I want some method, and the parent is the name of the method. I So two ways in which I can get this. So let us see, we'll get the same result as we have got. So I have the same result. I get the name of the group. Now let us say in the first line where I am at the voucher collection, I want to in the that means in the my voucher line, I suppose it's a voucher line also. Yes, in the voucher line, I want to print the name of the first ledger. So I have my first ledger name as a field, and let me put it as the right field so that I'm clear that what I'm getting. So let us see how I get it. On the field I write now, since my context is voucher, the main voucher, I'm not moving on into the ledger entries. I straight away write here, suppose use, so I write here use name field, that is a template, and I say set as, let me write it as ledger name and see what happens. So I'm getting the name, this first ledger name, I'm getting here A&A Associates. Now how I'm getting here, since my context is at the voucher level, and I am accessing something from the ledger entries, how I'm getting it here. Now by default, if there is sub collection and I use any method which is there in the sub collection, the first entry will be picked up. So that means in this case, since it was the first, A&A Associates was the first, so I got it. But otherwise, if I want to access the second ledger name now, so I'll have to write it as, since I am at voucher, so under voucher there is a collection called ledger entries. So I want a second, so in the square bracket from the second entry I want to put a ledger name. So let us understand this. This means at a voucher context, I want to print the second ledger entry of the voucher. Now in the ledger entries, the second one is the sale head, and so I write it as ledger entries since I am at the second ledger name. So let us see what I get here. So I am getting it as output GST. So I get the desired result. If I want a third, I can have a third. You can also put it as last. Last will give you the last entry. So the discount is the last, and the first will give you the first entry. If you don't give anything, even then it will give you the first entry. So this is how you can sparse a sub collection at the voucher level. I want to see what is there in the ledger entries. Now, uh, let me see if that has been created in the voucher. I want to see whether the reference has been created or not. So let me see that. That will then will print some information. Use default for bill allocation and no. And now, so yes, it is there. So let me write it as bill 001. I'm not explaining this. This is a reference. So for the voucher number one, the bill reference is bill 001. Now here I want to print the bill number. Since it is not there in the voucher number, it is there at the reference number. So let us see how we can do that. So in ledger entries, that means in the first ledger entry, there is a sub collection called bill allocations. So I go as bill allocations. First dot, I suppose name is the, so I get a bill 001. Now I have already explained how will you get the method, how to find the method. You have to go to the schema and see what are the methods that are available. So two things we have seen now in this. One is how to get the method from some other collection, like from the stock item name, we got the group name from the stock item collection. And here we are seeing how we can get the methods which are there in the sub collections. So you can go down the hierarchy and you can go up the hierarchy also. So let us see how we can present it as a in the up hierarchy, how I can get it. Now in my inventory entries, I want to get the date of the voucher. So let us see how I can get it. This is my voucher line, my stock item line, I suppose. So stock item name is there, stock group name is there. Now, so this is my inventory line. Here I say my VCH date. I introduce another method. So I use a field template and say set as dollar. Now since I am at the inventory entries, I put double dot and say date. That means one step back, I want to put the date. So let us see how that comes. So my date, voucher date is there at the inventory entries level. That's for all today. That's for all today. Thank you.